Hello and welcome to Vlogmas Day 7. I'm Nicole and this is Nurturing Compassion. Today I'm going to be answering the question, am I a raw vegan now? If you're interested in content that has to do with sustainability, simple living, veganism, and just living a more overall compassionate lifestyle, consider hitting the subscribe button. Let's get into it. If you've been following me on Instagram, this probably makes more sense. A lot of my stories have really been focusing on a lot of raw whole foods, but am I actually a raw vegan? The short answer is no. And I'm going to tell you why, is that I have been really focused on eating whole raw foods, but not 100% of the time. I'm not committed to only eating strictly raw. I rather am just focused on eating really healthy and unprocessed food. And lately, what I've really been vibing with is a lot of fruit, actually. So I have been eating really high fruit, but I've also been including a lot of nuts, seeds, greens, and vegetables. I've not really been too worried about keeping it 100% raw though. I mean, I've had some potatoes. On Thanksgiving, we had sushi from our favorite place, and that obviously had rice and some tempura on it. You know, I'm just really trying to do the best I can to eat healthy and feel my best. I've always noticed that when I eat primarily whole raw foods, I feel my best. And when I first went vegan, I felt so full of life and full of energy, and I was eating primarily raw food, apart from dinner where I would tend to have, you know, some kind of grains or legumes or, you know, salad bowls, stuff like that. And I really want to kind of experiment with that more. Honestly, I've been feeling so good, so full of energy. I don't know if you can tell from some of my older videos, but I've actually lost 30 pounds, and not all like super quickly, in the last few months. And when I started eating primarily whole raw foods, then I noticed my weight starting to come off again, which in my case is a good thing. You know, I do have some extra meat on my body, so it's not a bad thing for me to be losing weight at this point in time. I've also been tracking my stuff in Chronometer, and I'm getting enough calories. I'm, you know, hitting my nutritional requirements, and I just feel really awesome. So I figure while I'm feeling good, I'm gonna stick to what works for me. But I really like not being super married to like, oh, well, I'm a raw vegan now, because that's too much pressure for me. Okay, I know that I'm gonna want a Chipotle burrito bowl one day, okay? I just know it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I just want to keep doing what feels best for me. By having the goal of eating raw for the day, it just really keeps me on track. It keeps me from eating processed junk, because I'm like, no, I'd rather, you know, have some whole foods. So that's really the goal here, is just eating a lot of whole foods. And yeah, I just wanted to share that because I know some people on my Instagram have been asking me if I'm a raw vegan now. The answer is no, but also kind of yes. Like, I've been definitely incorporating a lot more raw foods than I ever have before, and I'm loving it. I feel so good, and I don't think that cooked food is evil. I still eat cooked food all the time. I'm just sticking with what makes me feel the best. And if you are interested in seeing what I eat in a day, I maybe would consider doing that. I don't know. I'm kind of squeamish about that just because I'm not a nutritionist. I don't really want to be giving out diet advice. I think you should go vegan because going vegan is the best thing you could do for your health, the planet, and the animals. However, when it comes down to what you should be eating, how you should be eating vegan, I don't feel qualified to talk about that. I just know what works for me, and even still, I'm learning all the time, and I'm super open to, you know, listening to different variations of vegan diets, and I think that there are different variations of vegan diets that work for different people. I think there's a lot of people on YouTube who give diet advice when they maybe shouldn't be, or maybe they're not qualified to, which, you know, is their prerogative if they feel comfortable doing that. Also, you know, I think what I eat in a days are a really great way for people to get ideas of different meals, not specifically like, oh, I'm gonna follow this person's diet to a T, but just like, ooh, that looks good. I'm gonna try making that. It's a really cool way to get exposure on how to eat vegan, especially since most of us were not raised vegan. We have, transitioned to that lifestyle later on in our life. So especially at the beginning, sometimes it can be kind of confusing of what to eat, how to feel full, how to balance all your nutrition. And so I think it's great in that sense. But I think that the problem really arises when people are acting like their diet is the best, and that isn't always necessarily the person doing that, but sometimes it's just their followers idealizing them to the point where they're like, oh, if I eat like this, I'm going to look exactly like this person, which is not the case. Many of us need to be eating different amounts of calories from each other, so that can get kind of toxic. As well as I think that I take issue with it when there's people who clearly aren't eating enough, and they're putting out this information and getting young, impressionable people to start eating that way. That kind of stuff also leads to people falling off of the vegan lifestyle, which is heartbreaking when in actuality they're not eating enough. Or if they're not supplementing with B12, like that is such an important aspect of a vegan diet. First of all, I think everybody should be supplementing with B12 unless your doctor tells you otherwise. And the other issue that I take with it is that, people will act like they feel so amazing on this lifestyle, on this diet, that this is the way they're eating, when in actuality they're struggling with their health or with their mental health, and they're not actually feeling good while eating this way. Meanwhile, they're promoting this diet to their followers. I think that is awful, because it kind of ties back to not eating enough. You're not supplementing properly. You're promoting this to other people when you yourself are suffering from eating it this way. I'm sure, as many of you know, we've had some issues with that in the vegan community, and I think it's disgusting to do that, because there are so many people who look up to a lot of YouTubers, and it's just so frustrating. It's frustrating, but anyway, now you know my thoughts on what I eat in a day videos and how I myself am eating. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite fruit is right now, what fruit you're vibing with lately, because I have been loving Sun Gold kiwis. If you've never tried them before, go to an Asian grocery store and get yourself some, because honey, they are the best. They are the best. They're 10 times better than traditional kiwis. I'm so serious. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Vlogmas today, and I will see you tomorrow.